Hey there. If it looks like I'm balancing a little precariously, it's because I am. It's extremely low tide where I am, and it's windy. You know, I can't do anything about the wind, so I know a lot of people don't enjoy the wind. I don't either, but I can't do anything about it. And when you gotta shoot a video, you gotta shoot a video. So, it's really low tide, so I don't often get a chance to be this low, but it's not super low, so I have to balance on this little rock so I don't have my feet in the water. So I'm Seaside at least, which is good. Again, sorry about the wind. Well, I guess you know why I'm here, talking about our big box set, which is just a crazy box set. A little background to it. Almost 3 years ago, when I was having meetings with the Rhino folks, and we knew we wanted to do something big. And there's so many other things we have going for 2015 to mark the Dead's 50th anniversary, of course. But the one thing that that we wanted to do right was a big audio release. And after the last few years with Europe 72 and a couple of spring 1990 boxes and May 1977, and, you know, if you keep going back, you get things like the Winterland 73 and 77 boxes, you get Hampton, you get the Fillmore West box going back more than 10 years. And so we said, well, for the 50th, we need to do something really big. And one idea that I'd been thinking of for a very long time, it had to be a career overview, we knew that. And the one thing that I'd been thinking of for a long time was the definitive anthology where the Dead's linear narrative from 1965 or 66 in terms of live material right to 1995 could be told, which for the Grateful Dead means complete shows. At least that's what I think of, and probably what you think of too. And so in this meeting in 2012, I think, late 2012, this is what I pitched. And I'll never forget Mark Pincus, my good friend and co-producer on this box and everything else we do. The look on his face, it was incredulous in terms of joy that this was the thing that I was pitching, because I think Mark thought it was a great idea too. Clearly he did. He greenlit the project, thanks Mark, and he worked very closely with me, and Doran and Yvette, everybody at Rhino really put their all into this. But this was the idea we came up with, and so we spent the better portion of 2 years working on it in terms of the overall concept of how we would do it. And the one thing we really wanted to make sure that this had was great music. Clearly, that's what we always focus on. We also knew we wanted to have some big tentpole shows. We weren't necessarily, and we did dig deep. There's some things in here that you probably didn't know about. But we really wanted some of the bigger shows, the things that you've been requesting for years and years, things that I've been requesting. Things like Cape Cod 79, MSG 91887, and there's lots more. I think as the box set, I think the word is unrolls, you'll hear more about some great shows, but that's what we wanted. We wanted several of these tentpole shows, I call them temples, things that you've been requesting that we all know are great shows, that probably should have been released a long time ago, but when we only release 4 Dick's Picks or Dave's Picks or Road Trips a year, there's only so much room in a year to release things. So this is our chance to get a lot of that material out. And also, we do get a lot of people asking for the years that are a little underrepresented in the live series. 84, 83, 86, 90s, 93, 94, 95, and this allowed us a chance to get a complete show from each of those years out. And we're really happy with those ones. The ones that are, like I say, they're underrepresented and they're underappreciated by a lot of people. And I think what this box will do is we've really, I think, found the best show of each year. And I won't say we discovered them. These are shows we always knew were good, but as we put more time into them, we've been really happy with what's transpired in terms of the excellence, the consistency of shows. And it's the kind of stuff that some of the shows in here, 83, 84, 86, 88, 93, 94, 95, 92, are shows that you don't even need to say the qualifier, this is a great show for 1983, this is a great show for 1986. These are great shows. And so that's kind of the focus here, is really good music from every year, telling the story. We'd originally figured this thing was going to be 85 CDs. We ended up with 80. A couple of the shows ended up fitting on 2 CDs that we didn't expect and things like that. So here we have an 80 CD box set, and as a tribute to how great the packaging is, this is without a doubt the most impressive package I've ever seen of any audio release ever by anyone, and I see a lot of that stuff. Doran Tyson was at the helm of getting this done. Doran, you've probably seen her name in things. Doran was nominated for a Grammy last year for her work on the Grateful Dead Spring 1990 box, Volume 2, along with the rest of the team who worked on the package design for it. And Doran is a creative force of nature. So the packaging alone is spectacular. The music, because there was so much music, 30 shows, 80 CDs, Jeffrey Norman is superhuman when it comes to his work ethic. But there's only so many hours in a day, and we only had maybe 9 months of production on this. So he divided the work between Jeffrey and Dave Glasser. So the two guys who have been working on the Grateful Dead, Jeffrey for almost 25 years, plus he goes back even further than that, but really full-time 25 years. Dave Glasser about 10 or 11 years, and Dave is a Grammy winner for his audio mastering work. Really, we couldn't have had better mastering engineers on this, and these are people who know Grateful Dead archival music. I'll also say, and we'll get into what they are, I guess, as we unroll the box set. A couple of the shows in the box were mixed from the multi-track masters by Jeffrey. Spent a long time at TRI Studios in January, February of this year mixing these two shows. So most of the material is from 2-track stereo recordings, but a couple of them are multi-tracks, and there are two shows in particular that people, me, you, a lot of people have been asking for many years, decades really, and now we finally get them out. And we get them from the multi-track recording. So there's those. This is a box set I don't think you're going to want to miss out on, and it's again, it's, if you think that there's certain years you might not be too interested in, I think this will allow you to reevaluate your thoughts on these shows. But I also think that as kind of a narrative whole, it tells the Grateful Dead's live story, which is really what the Dead are about. They made some good albums. They made some great albums, actually. But it's the live Grateful Dead that tells the story of the Grateful Dead. And I've often talked about how the Grateful Dead, tour to tour, month to month, year to year, they changed so dramatically. And yet, it was always Grateful Dead music, whether it was 1966, 72, 79, 84, 90, 94, 95. It's still very distinctly Grateful Dead music, and it's because these generally 5 guys, let's call it the core 5, and then you've got different keyboard players sometimes, you've got Donna Jean singing, but overall, you know, you got Pigpen in it quite a bit, but when you have Mickey and Billy and Bob and Phil and Jerry, and like I say, oftentimes Keith, Brent, TC, Vince, Bruce, Donna Jean, Pigpen, did I mention Pigpen? If I didn't, it wasn't an oversight. It's because so many people to mention. It's still distinctly Grateful Dead music, and I think that's what this box is all about, is showing that a lot of bands sound virtually exactly the same from when they start to finish. And you really can't listen to different things and say, what year is that? It kind of sounds the same. The Dead aren't like that. They sound distinctly different, and yet distinctly like the Grateful Dead. So that's what this is all about. And again, for the 50th anniversary, we wanted to go big. And we did think of doing a couple of things along the lines of Europe 72 runs of shows, but none of that told the Grateful Dead's definitive live story. And it was really in doing the 30-year history. So again, in that initial meeting, and I think it was late 2012, when I brought this idea up, exactly as we ended up doing, one complete show packaged in this spectacular way, which again, I'm sure that'll get revealed soon enough, because it's a work of art, how it's going to be packaged. And just the look on Mark's face, and the rest of the people in the meeting, but Mark in particular, he lit up. And as a Deadhead, Mark is a big Deadhead, a huge Deadhead, and to see the way he lit up, it was the same way I would light up when I hear this kind of idea, when I pitched it, and it was very reassuring to know that everybody at Rhino, from Mark all the way to everybody else working on this, was 100% committed to this. And I think it's going to show in the sound quality, the performance quality of what we've selected, and then the packaging. And I don't know. I'm buying one. I think it's going to be cool. And so get it. It's going to sell out. I think everything we tend to do sells out. This one, I think in particular, because it is so special, and I think it's a small limited number. So I would get it. I am getting it, and I think it's going to be cool. And what I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos over the next couple of months, I think, as we roll out more shows. And I think that's the plan, releasing the information on different shows. I don't want to say bit by bit, but just so you can digest it. Because if I were to list 30 shows right now, it would be a bit overwhelming. But if we kind of let you know about 4 of them right now, and then in a little while we'll tell you another few, and then another few, another few, I think you'll be able to digest it. We'll give you samples of them as we go, I think, and I think this is a good one. I love this one. This is a great box set. This is truly, and I'm a music lover. I love the Dead, but I also love other music. And this is the coolest audio project I've ever seen. And to be part of it, whatever part I am, it's really exciting. So check it out on DeadNet. Like I say, over the next little while, we're going to keep revealing more information about it. And I'll keep doing these videos. Sorry about the wind. I don't know how bad it is down here because I'm kind of below these rocks. But there's some wind and birds. But check it out. It's going to be epic. We're happy with it. So more information later. You know, here I just condensed 80 CDs and 30 shows, plus some other cool stuff. There's 30 shows, but there's some other cool audio stuff in there, which we'll get to another time. Condense it into, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, whatever it is. So check it out. I think you're going to dig it.